bring you back. Okay.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. We're just gonna.
All right.
We're gonna talk for a second.
In the waiting room. So don't go anywhere. I'm putting you in the waiting room. We are live. We are live. Live.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by All Night Long. DJ Joe Storm on the Grown Folks Radio. Yo, 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 yo. Grown Folks Radio. WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Listen. You Only Think You Know, Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC Radio Show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Shell Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a-bullseye-view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Shelly Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night, but I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just the course for you. Please go to ShellyShellWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
PPC, 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 yeah. PPC, PPC, CPC, yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dare miss your blessings. Powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. PPC, yeah.
All right, welcome Welcome to the PPC Radio Show. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, how are you? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. We are doing a pre-record live for those of you that are going to be watching tomorrow. We hope you watch tomorrow, but if you're with us tonight, we're very excited. We are going to get into a conversation about the ladies. Not Melanated After Dark conversation. This is PPC. Different kind of empowerment, right? We're going to be talking about women coming together, because we've all had different experiences with that. And so we're going to bring on our guest. Her name is April Deep Aries. She is a very lovely woman that I met years ago. She invited me on her, I guess it was a podcast radio show. She had me on her show. She was great. I met her in person, so she's become a friend. And since I've been on her show twice, I wanted to have her on here so she could share about her life and the things that mean something to her. So, April Deep Aries. There she is, April. Say hello to the PPC Radio Show friends. You're on mute. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
We've been having all kinds of technical issues.
Hi, PPC Radio.
All right.
Thank you so much, Cinda. Good to see you again.
Yes, you too.
And everybody else.
So, April, I was telling them that I've known you for quite some time now because you had your own show. You had it before years ago, and for how many? I don't know, 5, 6 years ago we met. And then I met you in Detroit when I did a book show, face to face. And then I was on your show again recently. So I was like, it's about dang on time to have you here with us. So tell us about yourself and give us a general overview of you. Who are you?
Oh, no, you sure you want to know all that? No.
Yes, come on, guys. We want to hear it all. Let's go. Spill it.
All right. Well, I am an artist. I've been an artist for a very long time. I started on Blog Talk in 2011. And originally I was working with another group that was a poetic group. I started out as a poet, I should say, in the early 2000s. And I did poetry for about 10 years around Michigan and parts of Illinois. And I did poetry, and then I did a poetry book, Reflections of a Diamond in the Making. It was a memoir because there was so much that needed to be said, and I didn't feel like I was being heard. And there was a lot of personal things in there, and I just put it out there. I didn't expect it to be a big book, but I had some very personal topics in there, from finding myself to even my relationship with my father. So it was very personal. Mm-hmm. And to further, when I started working on this poetic radio show, I started having ideas about interviewing people. And at the time, the founder didn't think that, well, it was almost like, well, who are you to go and, interview these people? And wasn't supportive of that. And I was pretty much told I'd be better off having my own show. And of course I was hurt. Who doesn't want a team of people? A woman who, I don't even know if she still does radio. I never mention names, nothing like that. But who doesn't want to belong to a team of women who are doing hosts and shows? But inadvertently, I found out about Blog Talk through working with her. And that's when I started my own show. And it seems like by it not working out is what gave me this fuel to do it myself, to do it myself. So I used my marketing and liberal arts background to recruit. I went on Facebook, I went to local venues and spread the word. And there were people who were very supportive. And there were some people who were like, well, who are you? Why should we support you? Things like that. And, you know, that was over 10 years ago. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about it as I'm talking. And then when I started adding local artists, you know, most of them were very grateful. And I found, okay, I can do this. And I thought radio was going to be my.
Uh-oh, she's having a frozen moment. Yeah.
wow.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That-
I didn't know a phone could go out on my. Only where there's a lot of trees. You think I was in the woods somewhere, rural area.
That's okay. So you started finding young artists that you were interviewing? Because I know for me that this is.
They were all ages.
Yeah, I mean, new doesn't mean young necessarily. You know, it just means people that don't get a
young. I'm sorry.
I probably did, but I meant, you know, people new to being seen, not having a support system and not being able to show their work. And I think that's a wonderful thing that you did and that you're starting to do again. Have a platform for young, new, green, meaning they just don't have that voice yet, but they have a platform where they can show their work. And I think that's kind of what this is. Although I'm sure every once in a while we'll have a quote unquote star drop in, but for me, everybody's story is just as important, right? So okay, so
yes.
you express yourself through your poetry. We're going to get more into the conversation about women working together and how we can be with each other a little bit in a few minutes when we bring on the rest of our panel. Okay. So now you're a social worker. So how is that? How do you use that expertise that you had during your artistic days? And I'm sure that the art is still in you. How do you use that in your?
Oh, yeah. Well, how do I use it? How do I use social work? How do I use creative energy? Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the designing, the PowerPoints and slides, or I teach a lot for parents who have lost their children or wanting to get them back. I don't do anything related to the actual. I'm not a CPS worker or nothing like that. I just teach the classes. Basically, it's about self-care, self-awareness, nurturing yourself, because you can't nurture anybody else until you nurture yourself. And a lot of that is how I used it. Why did I go for social work? Because I knew that I had a friend who was an artist and a social worker. And she kept saying, April, I'm telling you, you should go ahead and go for it. And I had to sit and think, do I want to do this? But I sat and I took the 4 years and I did that. And I am a licensed social worker, and I was able to, mainly, I really like the macro side, and that's the artistic, the designing side of it. But, and I learned more about me. Things that I would panic over about myself, I started to learn more about myself and how to understand myself. And a lot of things, you know, of course, I don't have an answer to a lot of stuff. I'm still a work in progress and everybody else, but that is how I find myself analyzing a lot of things that I didn't have the answer to through my work. Now, some people change and some people you're just not going to do it. I think that's what I have to learn. That some people I'm not going to change. And sometimes those people are the people who are closest to us. It can be blood. I noticed you were mentioning you had that there were sisters on the show. And the first thing I thought about was my sister. Mm-hmm. And that's a very deep subject in itself. But I just wanted to tell you how I got into social work. I knew it would be a lot more opportunities, and after 10, 15 years in the arts, I didn't see it taken off like it should. A lot of people would said, well, if you were in California, April, even some of the guests that I interviewed, things would be different. But I don't know. And I don't know necessarily. I just think that we're called to do different things for a reason, because I honestly never saw myself as a social worker. Never, you know.
I never knew that was a route you were going to take. And I mean, you have you have a beautiful personality and nurturing. So
thank you.
I can imagine that you help a lot of people. And I know for me, when I had to get a day job, when I was getting a divorce, I had to get a job. And, you know, because I wanted to still raise my kid, I didn't want to, you know, go back to LA, drop her off at the nannies or whatever, have other people take care of her. So I had to work. And when I started substitute teaching, I did that. Yeah, I found that I was really able to connect with children in a way that many people, some of their own teachers could not connect with them. And I was able to help them learn in ways that others couldn't, because I had this communication skill and this artistic thing. And I was a performer. So I was constantly performing for these kids, and they were able to learn from me. And so I became very popular doing it, and could probably, if I knew anything about math, become a teacher and enjoy it tremendously. But I don't want to try to learn math now. It's too late.
I hate math. You hate it too?
I just like it to a point where I respect other people, right? But I just can't, my brain doesn't work that way. I do these brain games with math. And it's like, and my skill level is so different in math than it is with everything else. But my point is, I was able to really help some kids, you know, and some adults that I ended up talking to. So I think it's a beautiful thing to use all your gifts, and then who knows what you'll write from these experiences.
Oh, it's so much I have to write. But thank you for the personality comment. I can't tell you how many people who have, well, maybe thought misunderstood. You know how personalities are. I learned a lot from you that I wouldn't have known when you were on my show, when you were talking about how people are. I wouldn't have never thought that you had gone through those experiences. You know, the woman that I grew up watching, you know, in all those movies, it was just something about you. I always loved to see you in those movies. I always loved to see you in those movies. And I wouldn't have never thought you'd go. You never know until you talk to somebody, just like a lot of people wouldn't have known things about me, because I guess I've become good at I don't know if you want to say masking those things, or not being putting those things out there. At one point, you know, you put too much out there to the wrong people, or for people you think you're friends, you end up hurt. But, you know.
So you got to learn to have a hard shell like me. I mean, for me, I don't know about Shelly, but I guess it's only the people super close to me that can hurt me now, you know, because I have been my tail has been whipped so much by different aspects of folks that I'm just kind of like, whatever. You don't like me? You don't like me? Oh well, I'm not afraid to tell my truth, because they can't hurt me like that. You know, I am who I am. Either you like me or you don't. What about you, Shelly? What do you think about that?
Agree. I was always hardcore, so I think I'm a little more sensitive in my newer. Once God really came into my life, I became more sensitive, so people can hurt me now more so than before. But before, I was more of the come in your face and tell you off, and you know, I was more of that person. But now people can hurt me, because I love people so hard right now. It's like, oh my gosh, it could hurt me. My feelings are hurt right now, so by somebody. So yeah, I'm hurting now.
I agree with that. You know, that if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and open up to people, but for me, what I found, you know, with my journey with God and all of that, is it's the opposite. I don't get hurt by people as much anymore, because I just know that they're like April said, works in progress, and people make mistakes. And I stopped having expectations of people being like me. You know what I mean? Because I'm flawed. I make a lot of mistakes, but I'm a freaking great friend. And if I'm working with you, I'm gonna give you 190%. But not everybody is like that. Not everybody is in that place in their journey. And so once I stopped having the expectations of people being to me what I felt like I was being to them, I was like, okay, whatever, but people are close to me though. No, that's different.
But I think people love in different ways. I think like we're saying, hey, be like this, but people you may think they're not loving you, but sometimes they love in different ways. I know I love in different ways. And I know I'm not that person who's super, hey, how you doing? How can I help you? I'm not your super help you. But I love you in a different way. I might give in another way. But people like, well, you didn't think about me today, or you didn't call me today, or you didn't. And I'm like, I don't call anybody. It's not my thing. I'm not really a phone conversationalist. That's not my thing. But some people need that. Some people need it. And they think it's not love if you don't do it. But it's not. We'll love in a different way. You ask me to do something, I'm gonna do it. You need something from me, I'll do it. But I can't. I'm not that one. I'm not that one that's gonna do that.
I had a friend like that. He became a friend. It was a guy. He was a gay man, and he was used to 2-hour conversations.
Plenty of those.
He was used to those long conversations with people. When me, I'm very terse on the phone, in emails and text. I don't talk that. I talk to you. I talk to a person, although now I'm just talking to everybody, it seems. But but I don't like the phone. I don't like being on the phone all the time. I can't stand long texts, all the chat chains. It just drives me nuts. I just want to talk to people directly. And so what I had to do with him is like you were saying, I was like, okay, I am so sorry that is how you view what friendship is about. And I will do better. I will call you more often, but I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not an everyday caller. I'm not an after 9 caller. I'm not a before 7 caller. So find a different friend for all that. Me, I'm available this time because I have to take care of me too. And those other hours, those outlier hours, I'm doing me. And I'm not, now if anything is happening, your world, something really bad, whatever, call me. That's different. But just to talk about what movie's out and or politics, I'm not trying to have 2-hour conversations with people about that stuff.
No, because there's so many things we could be doing. If we're spending our time on the phone, it's keeping us away from our building our business or creating something or learning lines or something like that. And you have your moments, and I hope. And I think everybody should understand people love differently. Yeah. But even in relationships, everybody loves differently. And everybody's trying to say, love me this way. Because that's the way I love. But I think we're all learning. I think everybody, like you said, work in progress. We're all works in progress, Either we're going to mesh or not.
Yeah, I think that with me,
with you, what?
Oh, I didn't know. I was hoping I was still there. With myself, I think that when I do come off really outspoken, sometimes people take it the wrong way, the boundaries, or, I try to be really sweet, and I try to be fair to everybody. I'm going to treat everybody how you treat me. I don't care who you are, and as long as you're not putting me in harm's way. I like to think of myself as a spiritual person, but everything is vibes and energy. A lot of it is. But like you're saying, how do you expect somebody to, how can you be close with somebody who texts paragraph after paragraph and don't know how to pick up a phone? How can you make them any kind of demand and you don't even pick up a phone?
Oh, so you want somebody to pick up the phone. Is that what you're saying?
Versus if I ignore your text after text, then you should understand that, especially if it's something important. And I am talking about a loved one, and a young loved one who I think that is probably the hardest thing for me to deal with right now. And I didn't mean to go off into all this because I know you got to introduce you ladies have to introduce other people and everything. But yeah, I was talking about when people put you at a text conversation, that's very impersonal. You're asking me to do something important and it's impersonal. And you act like, I thought you'd be happy for me. Yet, girl, you haven't even bothered to call FaceTime me, tell me your friends.
Man.
You know,
You hear her?
I'm being difficult, or I'm Aries the Ram, you know.
So you're saying like
So-
if it's a younger person that you want the younger person, like, you know, they'll do everything via text, and you would be offended by that? You're offended by that?
Well, no, I'm talking about a situation, if you have somebody getting married and you haven't even called me about it, to talk about it. That's what I'm talking about mainly. I'm just coming out with it. I'm just gonna be honest. My baby sister, who we're not close, my thoughts is you should have called me. That's just my thoughts, you know. You should have called me, you know.
So she
You
just
can't
texted you and
say-
said she was getting married. She texted you and said she was getting married and didn't call?
All these text messages, right. I said, you know, I don't agree with it. I text people all the time who I have a regular communication with, but you're just texting. How are we going to discuss anything about planning? It just doesn't make any sense to me. No, I don't care about any age, but if you talk about something like that and I mean, you know, we haven't even gotten together. How do you expect me to even want to be a part of it? You know, I'm happy for her, but I just feel like if I wasn't even given the respect to be called or let's meet up, you know, it's something else going on, and I can't be the one. I can't change it. You can't change people.
You can't, but what if you're thinking, hey, she should be the one, and in her mind she's thinking, this is just the way I do it. Not that, you know how we write our own narratives, like meaning
Right.
you could be writing the narrative in, and she could be like, I am so overwhelmed, and all I have to do is this text. Because really, when it comes to a wedding, it's not about us, it's about the other person. So a lot of times they're so overwhelmed and they're going through it, and maybe a text is all they have. You ever think about what, you know, we always want to think of ourselves, but maybe she's going through something different. It may not even have anything to do with you. Maybe she doesn't even know she's offending you because it's just.
Oh, she knows.
Oh, she knows because you told her. Huh?
I did. I did. And she's so hypersensitive that you're not going to tell me what to do type things. And that's the type of things that I don't like in people, whether they be men or women. I don't care what age. Those traits. I'm the kind of person, even if I don't agree with you, I'm going to at least try to understand where you're coming from.
So Paula,
if it makes sense.
Paula said, is she afraid that you'll tell her something she doesn't want to hear? Because sometimes maybe she don't want to talk to you because she don't want to hear what you have. So it's easier to text.
You know what? That might be it, Cinda. That might be it.
That was Paula. Thank you, Paula.
It's like, no, she doesn't want anybody telling her what to do. And then now I have to feel funny because I'm talking about this on here. I didn't want to, but it's so deep.
You wanted to, but you were trying to talk about it from the very beginning. Shelly, what you got to say? Then we're gonna go to break so we can bring this.
I was saying it's something in your heart, and I think you need a resolution for it. But I would have to say that the resolution is just understand and be there for him. Sometimes that's all you can do so that you don't miss out on this opportunity. Sometimes we miss these opportunities because we're going through our thing. So why not just say, you know what? It's her wedding. How can I help? And, you know, and then take the personal feelings, take the personal thing and be like, you know what? It's okay. And sometimes we have to do that. We have to woo-sah. We have to woo-sah and just say, how can I help? I know it's harder said than done. But once we, you know, depending on what you believe in, but sometimes you just got to throw it up and say, you know what? how can I help you? Because I don't want to be a burden to you. I want to be a blessing. So if this is her wedding. At that time is the most, I have never been married. I know that. But sometimes that's the most stressful time they're going through. So just say, woosah, how can I help you? No extra, unless you don't like the bull and you think, hey, I don't like that person, but that's a different story. But
that's her decision. I'm not gonna say anything on here.
So if it's not about if it's not about stopping her from doing something, then just woosah and just say, you know what, how can I help you? What can I do? What you need me to do? How can I assist?
And that means sometimes it's hard, but we gotta take ourselves out of it. And that, I think we can continue on with this conversation after we have a 3.5-minute break. Then we're going to bring back Monty Rose, my sister, and Monty on the scene, Shelly's sister. So
all these sisters,
so we can really get into this and then
make me want to cry.
Get into the theme.
But that's why, honestly, sometimes God sets some things up for you for a reason. But can you text Monty Rose, please? Because she's not in the waiting room.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by All Night Long. DJ Joe Storm on the Grown Folks Radio. Yo. WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready? Yeah.
How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be back.
Even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Shell Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you.
Hey, Facebook, we are still live. Woo! We're talking about some good stuff. We're talking about some good stuff. I can't wait till we come back. We're going to talk some more, but I know you're here watching. Thank you to everybody that's watching, giving your feedback.
Yeah.
Hey, so Sophia, I always do that. I call my daughter Monica's name, and I call Monica my daughter's name. She's having a hard time coming on. It keeps saying is preparing a meeting. So
it says Monica Harris now.
She must have figured it out. Yay!
She on there twice. I guess one on her computer and one on the.
Mm-hmm. She's been trying. She said it's for the last 15 minutes. She's been working on it. So.
Oh, there.
I was wondering what happened to her. I was like, she's gone.
Yeah. She had issues last time. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't feel.
There you are.
Hey.
You made it. Woohoo, you made it.
I don't know how to leave the meeting without leaving the meeting or being in the green room or whatever you guys are saying.
Oh, so you don't have to do anything at that point.
You just sit there.
You just sit there.
I was watching them on Facebook.
I was too, but I wasn't. I had left the meeting, so.
Yeah, you can't leave the meeting. You got to just stay.
You just got to stay. Okay,
just
I didn't know.
To a different window. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So cool. We're here. Yeah, April girl.
I put my sisters back there. These are my sisters.
Sister.
I got a picture just a lot like that. I do.
I got a sister.
You had a sister.
I have sisters
yeah.
that are not blood sisters.
Oh, I see back there.
I got one over here.
Yeah.
how it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio.
PPC, 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 yeah. PPC, PPC, CPC, yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dare miss your blessing. These powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you, PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. PPC,
Thank you. Welcome back to the PPC Radio Show. If you were with us before, you have met April Deep Aries. She's so deep. She was a poet and a radio personality, and now she's a social worker. And she also dealing with some crapola, it sounds like, in her personal life. So we brought the sisters on with us, Monica Rose Harris, my baby sister, one of them, and Monty on the scene, Monica Gladney, Shelly's sister. So we all gonna like dive in on this, April, because I feel like you need some loving from some sisters.
And it's my baby sister, a lot younger, very, very young.
I know that I had to like, it was all sets of, I have two sets of sisters. You know, I've got Monica.
Oh, wow.
And Sadaka, and then I've got Megan and Mackenzie. And each set has been very different, right? And then I had my own kid who also communicated in a very different way. So sometimes it's like you got to learn how to communicate with the different people because they just don't do it like we do it. You know what I mean? They Monica and Sadaka came up in a cell phone world, right? We came up in the take the phone off the wall world, and then
the wall.
Sophia is coming from the texting and the Snapchat world. So it's like the way we.
I mean, I love the text.
Mm-hmm.
I love the text. I'm the Snapchat generation and all that, but well, she's a millennial, so I mean, I'm like the last generation, whatever I am. I don't know.
Can I mention something?
I don't know. Disco baby, I don't know. And this girl's a millennial.
Monty on the scene?
Yeah, that's when Shelly said what she said. That's what I thought. She kind of tapped into something because April got quiet. And now that you said that's your sister and it's your baby sister, that's the point.
She's my only sister.
You're like a mom thing. But still, if you're much older, you're more like a mom figure, and you may say something that she might not want to hear. And then when somebody said something about being the male, I think it was Shelly, might be the guy. She might hear something from you that might not set with, you might not like the guy she's marrying or something. But just all of those little things kind of seem like they're come together. Like that's, I don't know.
But I would say this, instead of writing the narrative, just say, how can I help you? Instead of, we don't know what she's thinking, you don't know how. So instead of putting your own story to it, just say, how can I help you? What can I do? Because she obviously if she's millennial, she communicates a different way. Because I know we can communicate all through text all day long. That's what you can do. So I would just say, how can I help you? And don't think about what's that? I heard something.
Oh no, I was listening to you. I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, go ahead. I because sometimes you're going in and out. So go ahead. Wow, it's a good time.
That's what I'm trying not to cut. I guess because this is a 25-year-old, you got a 25-year-old, you got a 40-year-old. And, but you know everything, no matter what somebody says or doesn't say, you still know everything. So I don't care if it's a 60-year, a 70-year. I don't care what age you are. If can't anybody tell you anything, if I can't talk to you without you becoming defensive about how I feel, then it feels like I'm disregarded. I know I may not have. I just feel like I'm disregarded. I just feel like disregarding the situation. It's a very complex situation.
And the thing about it is, honestly, you probably are being disregarded because she's not thinking about you right now. She don't care about you right now. She thinks about herself, her own wedding, and she don't want to hear your complaints about her. She just wants to be the center of attention.
She wants to be supported.
And that, but I know, like, for instance, with my sister Monica or my sister Sadika or Megan or Mackenzie, I know when they're going through something because I don't hear from them. But sometimes they don't want my opinion. They just don't want to hear from me. So, and if I try to force my opinion on them, I might get cussed out. So I just learned to shut up. If Monica wants to vent to me, Monica will call me and she will vent to me. Same with all my sisters. Well, not my baby sister. She doesn't talk to me because she is a baby compared to me. She's 21, 22, something like that. She's a kid. She don't want to talk to me. But my other sisters, they're not going to call me if they don't want my opinion. If they don't want my opinion, they're not going to call me. And I don't get my feelings hurt anymore. Because
I don't say anything to her. But then if I don't say nothing, it's like, aren't you going to say anything? I'm like, oh.
But it's
I'm sorry,
there's a difference between being there and ready when they need you and just cutting them off. I don't cut them off. I'm like, you don't want to listen to me? I ain't saying nothing to you. I don't do that. But I do say, when you're ready to talk to me, if you're ready to talk to me, I am here and I got your back. But, and mind you, I wasn't invited to Monica's wedding. Monica got married the first time without me, right? I wasn't invited to Hassan or to Frederick's wedding. I wasn't invited. Everybody had their thing. They had their own thing. Were my feelings hurt? A little bit. But what am I going to say? You grown.
It was at the courthouse.
Yeah. See, it was at the courthouse.
We were young. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, April, when you're that age, up until 30, you don't listen to nobody. Think about how you were at 25. I'm sure you didn't listen to nobody either. I mean, let's just keep it real. We all have hard heads. I mean, let's just keep it real. Why would you want to listen to the voice of reason if you know that they actually going to be talking some sense? You know? Why would you want to hear that? You don't want to hear that. You want to do what you want to do when you're that age.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody has to say because you want to do what you want to do. I mean, she's 25 years old and she's going to do what she wants to do regardless of your opinion or not. I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
I know.
I mean, you can get your feelings hurt, but I'm sure she's not caring about your feelings about that because it's her choice. And if you decided to get married to somebody that you know for 2 weeks, it'd be your choice. And she wouldn't get a say. You know what I'm saying?
I love her.
I love her. We do. We all get to make our own choices. And we don't get to dictate other people's choices. We can influence them and say, maybe this is not in your best interest, but you don't get to, you know what I mean? People have to make their own decisions. You don't want anybody controlling your decisions. She doesn't do this.
It's hard. It's hard when you're the oldest or your older sister or older anything. Because you lived so much life and you know all this stuff. And if they ask you, then you can give them that information. Yeah. But at 20, I say starting at 18, they don't want to hear it. I know some of you don't want to hear nothing I got to say.
No.
So I just say, okay, well, if you need me, I'm here. If she asks, I give her my opinion.
Yes.
I asked Sophia when she moved away to college to please send me pictures. She don't do
waiting for
it.
those pictures.
She don't send me pictures. I'm like, I won't bug you. I won't call you so I can see the things you're seeing sometimes. I want to be a part of it. So for about 2 seconds, I was hurt. And then I was like, she grown. What am I going to do? I asked her for what I needed. She did what she wanted to do, and I got to be okay with it. Oh, really? Okay. Amen. Hallelujah. Live your life, child. And I'll be here when you need me, So
I understand. I understand.
So it's either voice your opinion or miss the moment. I wouldn't want to miss the moment of someone's wedding, because it might be their only one. For some, it's not, but you don't want to miss the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even told my partner he's gonna have to go. We've been there at other events that she had, and I think that somehow I always leave feeling like I'm not fully appreciated over the years. And I guess that's something I have to work out.
Yeah, you got to get over that, because you're absolutely right. You're not appreciated. You just aren't. Maybe when you pass away or something, they'll scream your praises.
Dang, who cares?
That's cold blood.
I know, she went there.
That's all right. That ain't hurt me right here. Look.
I just know. Not that many people say, thank you for what you did. Thank you for how you helped. I don't hear that. I don't even expect to hear that. And I don't hear that because it's expected of me to be that person, because I've always been that person. It's expected that I'm going to help if I can. It's expected I'm going to take the cuss out when I get it and keep on smiling. It's expected because that's my role. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you might get to a point where you having an issue and you let go. But I don't hear thank you very much from family. I think we try harder. We try harder. Our family is trying harder to understand and give each other appreciation. Like my brothers just spent tons of money for this huge memorial for my mother that ended up being a little bit of a party, but not really a memorial, because my sister's partner had a horrific accident. You know what I'm saying? He had a horrific accident on the way to the event. And thank God he and the babies are okay. Those 1-month-old babies are okay. I took precedence over the memorial, and mommy, she got put to the back corner, and maybe one day we'll get together. But I know that Monica did this and I did this. I really took my time and I went to my brothers and I said, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this for us. You spent a lot of money on us, and you took care of us, and thank you. Because often we forget to do that with each other. We do. Especially when the younger ones, it takes some wisdom and some age sometimes for people to start understanding how grateful they are even. Maybe they don't even know because they're not even considering it or thinking.
No, it's not even in their mind frame, April. They're not even on that wavelength yet. You said that you're a spiritual person. Well, you had to go through your own process. And so you have to honor other people's processes too. We're not all at the same place. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's all that.
Definitely.
There's
a lot that I had to grow up. Almost. And you see the things that I like that. So you would appreciate some things better. When I was 25, when I was that age, I would definitely treat this different.
Did you guys understand that?
Not a word.
April, we're having issues with your sound. April. So we might need you to go off and come back on. Go off and come back on because you're frozen and you're we can't really understand everything you're saying. I'm sorry, honey.
I'm sorry. All right, let me come back.
Paula said no either. She couldn't understand it either.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Moni.
Yeah, hopefully she'll come back in.
Moni, I was telling Cindy, I feel like I know your soul. I'm like, where do I know her from? Have you ever felt like that with somebody where you're like, okay, I know them, but I don't know them, but I know them. That's how you're so
connecting spirits.
It is. It's that connection. That's that soul tribe.
Yeah, that's where I want to go now. I think we need to get into the soul tribe right quick.
I'm a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well because she hasn't come back yet. So
yeah. Because at the end of the day, you really got to be yourself. Like you were saying, Cindy, you still do it, even though people don't show appreciation and all that stuff like that, because you got to still be you at the end of the day. I'm not going to change who I am and be something different because of you being like you are. So I'm going to still be me. I'm still going to do good things. I'm going to still try and, live the way I know best to live because, even though my feelings get hurt, I still move on and still be me and ask God to help me to deal with it.
Yes.
And not try to show it sometimes because I don't want to damper your spirit or I don't want to damper your world because I'm feeling a little hurt. So I'm gonna try to keep, okay, let's keep it going.
Galatians 6:9 comes to me and it says, be weary. Don't get weary in doing good, for you will benefit the harvest if you don't quit.
Yes.
That's what it says. And I hold on to that.
Yeah.
I hold on to that. If you keep doing good, you will receive it. It will come around. We have to keep doing good even in the face of adversity.
But then at the same time, I think it also is that sometimes you do come to a conclusion about yourself.
Yes.
How many times am I going to push my good works on someone that doesn't want them? Sometimes you got to take a step back and say, I'm going to love you from afar because
love from a distance.
You're going through your own process right now and I'm getting hurt. So that's my problem. So I'm going to pull myself away from this situation. I'm going to still love you. And like Shelly said about the wedding, I'm going to come to your wedding and I'm going to support you because that's an important moment for my baby sister. But I'm not going to have any expectations of you treating me any kind of way because you're where you are in your life. But I'm not going to get my feelings hurt either.
Right, not anymore.
I'm going to let you go and let you do you. I have this cousin, I love her very much, who, if she's listening, sometimes she does, she'll recognize herself in the story. I had a cousin who I loved so much. She was like a baby sister to me. I cared so much, but she was in a relationship with a man that was mistreating her. She was this man treated her like garbage and she kept going back to him. And then she would come to me to pick up the pieces and to her sister to pick up the pieces. She would always, and it got to the point where it was hurting me because everything I said went in one ear and out the other. And I had stopped giving my opinions unless she asked, but she would always come and want me to talk bad about him when he hurt her again. And it got to the point where I just said, what? I love you so much. I support you. If you want to be with this person, you be with this person. But I'm not going to be in this equation anymore. Take me out of it. If you decide to be with him, be with him. If you decide to break up with him, break up with him. But stop calling me about it. Because you're not listening to me. And I don't want to hear it anymore. So good luck to you on your journey, but I don't want to be in a journey anymore.
I like how you explain things, Cinda. I like that. And even the love from a distance, that's what I've been trying. That's how I've been doing better with anybody who, a situation like that, loving from a distance, taking myself out of the equation, a soul searcher, just to get over whatever my feelings are.
Yeah, because
that makes me feel so much better.
That's in you. That's something you got to heal and you got to fix. That's not about her, because you wouldn't feel that way if it wasn't in you. It's something you got to work on. And that's what I had to do. Is like, okay, I love this woman so much, but I am not her mother. I'm not even her sister. I am her, not even truly her biological cousin. She's just a young lady that I've grown up with and I love, and I've known her since birth. But I don't have any. Her choices are her choices, you know. But I'm not going to be used either. I'm not going to be used as someone to come and scream and yell with. And never listen. So, you know, it's just, you got to take care of yourself.
I had a female friend that we were like inseparable from college a long, long time ago. And we back in touch. And it's like, you know, when people are coming to you for advice and they just keep giving you the same thing over and over, you run out of patience. I said, what are you still... you type of people mistreating them, and they'll say, I know. She reminded me, remember?
You're pulling on your energy. It's taking your energy.
I know that with this situation that I just explained, my beloved, after I did that, her sister did the same thing, and we weren't even talking. And then she was like, oh crap. And she found her way to the love of her life.
She did.
She found her way to the love of her life. But we had to stop enabling her. We had to stop holding her hand and being, you know, I don't know what to call it, but when
crutch. Coddling her. Yeah.
I had to say, go be you, do you. Love you forever. Be here, but just don't call me about this stuff no more, you know. Okay, I would think it's a good time to go to a break, if that's okay with you ladies, a 3.5-minute break. And then when we come back, we're going to get into this whole concept of Soul Tribe after we hear from Lisa Rose, our guest therapist this evening, a wonderful friend of mine who has done her share of therapy with me. I can't wait to hear her thoughts about this entire conversation. We'll see you after the break.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by All Night Long. DJ Joe Storm on the Grown Folks Radio. Yo. WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Listen, you only...
You see the chat? They said the live stream ended.
It did?
That's what Lisa just told me. It still says it's live streaming, but for some reason on Facebook, it went away.
I was on Facebook. It's still on Facebook on mine. The
whole
time.
When do you want Joe Storm to come in, Cinda?
Well, he can, I would say right before he's going to do his music.
Because he's been in the waiting room.
Yeah, we can tell him he can come on at about, we'll bring him in on 20 till or something, and then he does his thing at a quarter till, because this is really kind of a woman's conversation.
You want to admit him and then tell him and then?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Joe.
His audio is still connected.
Okay.
It says we're live. Oh
yeah,
I have it. I said I'm on it, and I shared it. It's still saying live.
It is. Maybe it was just for her, but she's on there, right? Is she coming?
Who? Lisa's right here. I see her.
Oh, okay. I don't see her. There's too many. Okay, there she is. Cool.
Paula
All
said,
right, we're still here, Facebook.
commenting.
Joe, I don't know if Joe can hear me or not, but Joe, this is kind of a ladies' conversation, so if you want to listen in, that's cool, but we're gonna do this until we bring you in right before 1:45.
Joe, can you hear? I know your audio is connecting. I don't think he can hear.
Okay. I'll text him.
But Facebook, thank you for, I think you're still here. Thank you for being
Hi, Lisa Rose.
Hello.
Hi.
Greetings and salutations. What a vigorous conversation we've been having.
I know, right?
It's been very interesting.
But you know what? That's the realness of it, because that's what happens with people, women in general. Like sometimes those things.
Absolutely.
That's like, we're gonna give you this grill. They about to move.
I was on Facebook Live, and then it just ended, and I was like, oh my God, what happened?
It must have gone on and come back on because it's still on.
Yeah, I was watching the whole time. I have it next to the screen. It was live the whole time.
That's what I got it right.
It was weird because mine went off. It said this video has ended. I was like,
all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio.
Clear myself. I am the legendary DJ Cool. And if I were you, I would keep my
I do, but I don't know.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by All Night Long. DJ Joe Storm on the Grown Folks Radio. Yeah.
It's a blessing, but
all right, Money, can hear you. Hey, everybody, we are back with PPC Radio Show. Having technical issues. Right. But anyway, we are back. That first hour was pretty hardcore. We were talking about when folks hurt your feelings when you want to communicate a certain way and they just want to be who they are. And so we were talking about that, but we want to get into the soul trauma. Before that, we have a special guest with us today. My friend Lisa Rose. She is this beautiful, wonderful woman who has helped me so much, and it's my friend and I have another friend besides Monica. Yay! Anyway, she's off for the summer, so Lisa, we're gonna let Lisa have the floor for some time, next 8 to 10 minutes, to tell us your thoughts based on what we were talking about from a therapeutic point of view.
Therapeutic. I think that when you guys were speaking about communication between women, perceptions, assumptions, things of that nature, that we get into these, sometimes into a negative pocket. We're talking about how we love each other. Sometimes people love differently. Shelly was saying that, and I think that's true. And the other thing I think is important when we are in relationships, particularly with our, like you said, sisterhood, that you meet people where they are, and you have to love people the way they need to be loved. So you have to know what that love language is. And I was sharing earlier that I've been reading this book called The 4 Agreements, and it's really kind of simplistic, but I thought a lot of the key to the agreements. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that his writing is on par with everything I think, but the agreements themselves were pretty cool. So I can share those with you because I thought that they were important in relationships in general, but particularly since the topic is women. The first agreement is be impeccable with your words. I know that kind of hit me hard when I first started reading the book. I thought, I don't know about this book. But then as I continued to read, I thought, okay, this is pretty serious. And then the second one, essentially being impeccable with your words is always being honest or showing integrity and giving communication with love. You know what I mean? Because if you lead with love all the time, you can't really cause a lot of damage. You know what I mean? If you're delivering your truth in love. And the other one was whether they said, let me see if I can find it right quick, because I just had it, but then I accidentally deleted the page. But it was so cool. Okay, the first agreement was be impeccable with your words. The second one I think is key to women. Don't take anything personally. Because we do. If the tone is off, if the body language is crazy, you looking at me some kind of way, you think you're better than me. I don't know about anybody else. And I think, Cinda and I have had some of these kind of conversations, but a lot of times women will develop this kind of attitude, you think you're better than us. You look this way, so you think you're better than us. You're assuming, and that's agreement number 3. Don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. That's the other thing I thought was really cool, because I think I have been guilty of that. And as I continue to grow as a person and professionally, making assumptions and judgments about other people just off of my own preconceived notions, right? Because we're not hardwired, but we're conditioned to think certain things about religion, politics, people, education, all of these different areas, right? We think certain things, if you're light skinned, if you're dark skinned, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're so-called pretty or whatever, if you're skinny, if you're overweight, if you're whatever, at any of these different things, if you go in a certain kind of way.
Hey, kid. Was that your statement? Okay, come on, Lisa.
So then the last one is always do your best. So I thought these were just kind of keys to live by. I have a lot of different nuggets that I just take in my pocket wherever I go. So when something's happening and I'm feeling some kind of way about that, right? I first ask myself, is this really an issue or is this my perception? And then I have to, if it's about me, then I got to check myself. If it's really an issue, then I got to go to the heart. I got to go to the person and in love say, hey, were you were you trying to offend me? Did you mean what you said? Because that kind of hurt my feelings, or that made me feel some kind of way. I think oftentimes when communication is probably the number one thing we have to do. And we were also talking about, Cinda and I were talking the other day about the cliques. Whenever you get more than 2 women together at a time, oftentimes there's these, they develop a clique within the group, you know what I mean? So then if it's like 3 people, then somebody's feeling left out or someone's feeling some kind of way. They're not feeling important. We all want to feel valued and important in our relationships, and we all want to feel needed, and we all want to be able to be heard. We're having a conversation. I think that that it is important to communicate well, to be honest, to love each other. And I'm saying not just love. I mean, I'm a certain kind of person. I love a certain kind of way. And, but if that's not what you need, is that really effective? If you're my friend and I'm not, and you need something, and I said, well, you know, that's not what I do. Well, maybe I'm not being a good friend in that moment, because this person may need something a certain kind of way. You know, I'm a hugger. Cinda may not be a hugger. She may be like, don't touch me. Okay. I'm not going to force her to make me hug her. You know, I'm not going to force her to hug me if she's not a hugger. That's not that's not her love language. And I'm just using her as an example. I'm not saying that she doesn't like to hug. Right. But I just think that learning each other's love language is important. Respecting each other's space and boundaries. And girl, don't get me started on the millennials. So I heard April loud and clear talking about her sister. I have a son who is a millennial, and they are a different breed. And no doubt, you certainly can't tell them anything. They know everything. So my grandmama used to say, if you haven't learned that by now, you're going to have to learn that the hard way. Experience. So, you know.
And then I'm starting to see it's not age. There's some people you can't. Where do you think some of the millennials got it from?
In every generation, we all go through that.
We do. And there is some generational stuff to that, because I know I'm guilty of it. I'm looking at people, do they see what they have on? You know what I mean? Like, did they not look in the mirror today? Are dudes still wearing their pants down there? I thought that was over. You know what I mean? In my mind, those are the kind of things I'm, you know. But at the same time, then I have to check myself, girl, you being judgmental. Like, back up. You know, like, everybody's got their own thing. That's not my thing, but I love you anyway. You know, I got to love you anyway. And I mean, I'm a school counselor by trade, so I'm around.
My best friend is a school counselor.
I'm around.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm around kids all the time. And what I have learned over my years of being a school counselor is look at the parents. And I'm not saying judge the parents. I'm saying that if Johnny's acting a certain kind of way, if you follow Johnny home and you see what goes on at home, then you understand why Johnny behaves that way. And because he's got a different environment than what we might have. And a lot of times
those parents come up to that school too, and you see.
Look,
I know you have, because I see it all the time. She's just shaking her head. You even got to follow Johnny home. They come up there cutting up.
But this is how I get past that. Sometimes I think, you know what? They're not sending the bad ones and leaving the good ones at home. You know, they're sending the best they got. And we just live in a totally different society than, you know, we've got a variation of age groups on this line. And I think, I don't know, maybe it was April who said something about being Gen X, or, you know, like I'm on the cusp, and I think Cinda is too, of we're at the end of the baby boomers and at the beginning of the Gen X. And then by the time Gen Z and the millennials came along, it was like, what the heck? You know, like, but when I was 20, I was a hot ass mess. I mean, you know, like, so you just gotta say, you know, you're growing. We're all growing. We're going through life. You know, he who began a good work in us will see it into completion. And so we just got to learn and grow. You got to be open to learn. You can't think that everything is about you all the time. I mean, I think we all think it's all about us all the time, but it's really not. You know, it's not really about us at all. It's and the sisterhood is about us loving on each other and holding us up when we're down, encouraging us along the way, being that help. You know, like Monica calls me up. Monica calls Cinda and says, "I don't have any food," and Cinda says, "I'm on my way to LA," and she calls me and says, Can you go help my sister out? She's out of food right now. And I'm at the airport getting ready to get on the plane. And I say, okay, let me hop in my car and let me take her some food and let me go do whatever it is that needs to be done. That's what we do, particularly as Black women. That's what we do. And that's what we should do. And we should remove that judgment as much as we can. But we're conditioned. Society has conditioned us to look at people and to make judgments, snap judgments about them.
I think our families, and especially, my daughter and I were talking about this tonight about matriarchal, patriarchal, all this kind of stuff, and Monica and I come from a very patriarchal family, and we were raised to serve men. That's what we were supposed to do, is serve men. That is how we were raised. And that's because the men, we didn't have the issues like some of the kids where there was no father or there was no grandpa. We had that. But we were raised a certain way. Well, somebody else might be raised a different way. Maybe they were from a single parent home and so I think if you care about people, if they're not toxic for you, because sometimes you're going to meet somebody that's just toxic.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't want to, that's not somebody you need to deal with.
100%.
But sometimes, most of the time, honestly, I think that if you just take a little time and get to know someone, like you said, their love language, the way they communicate, no matter what generation they're from, you can have a very beautiful something, a season at the very least, or
and
maybe
context is important. If you know somebody's story, or if you're learning about their story, you get understanding. That's another one of those little nuggets I read in a book somewhere that said, in all you're getting, get understanding. So when you're getting understanding, if I understand Shelly's background and she understands my background, then there's room for grace there.
Amen.
There's love there.
But you also have to have that same grace for someone that doesn't want to tell you their history.
100%. I absolutely agree with that. Before I did school counseling, I did community mental health. So I had clients, mostly men, mostly at risk for homelessness, and adolescents were generally that was my group. And 5 of those men were diagnosed schizophrenic. And I don't know. I mean, when you're in the mix and you're moving, you don't know how other people see you from the outside. And I met this man one time, and he was a person who was not one of my clients, but he was around and saw me when I was on the, property, providing services for those men. And he said to me one day, he said, you are just amazing. And I was like, what? Amazing? What are you talking about? And he was like, no, the way you treat these people, like you don't treat them like there's something wrong with them or like they have problems. You just treat them. And I thought, well, thank you. That's a high compliment. That's a very high compliment. And I think that when we go out with the intent of treating every person the way we want to be treated, if we treat every person with a level of respect and courtesy, if we say what we mean, if we mean what we say, if we do what we say we're going to do, if we cannot meet those commitments, if we can communicate to that person. And again, April, I'm with you on the texting. Like, I can text, but if it's going to be a conversation,
right,
pick up the phone.
Call me.
Come on, it's crazy. Let's just have a talk.
Right.
It takes far longer to text that conversation than to pick up the phone and then say, hey, oh, by the way, this is what I want to do. This is what we need to get done.
Right. Exactly.
If it's going to be a conversation, if it's, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Let's get together, or let's have a dinner party, come on over, or whatever. That's different.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. That's different than, than a whole blown out conversation. So I get the frustration, but again,
right. It's like, somebody's too busy, but yeah.
So one more time, I didn't hear you.
I said something as important as a wedding. I feel April with that. That's right. That's up top. Like, a wedding is a big thing.
Right.
It is. And I agree with you, because I do that all the time. I'm like, call me.
Just call me.
But at the same time, if that person isn't willing to call you,
right,
for whatever reason that we don't know about or understand, then it's up to us to just say, all right, I don't like this, but they're where they are right now.
Choice. Right.
And it's about what they're going through. So I'm gonna just support them and just step back and not get mine and not take it too personally, because it's not, this specific thing is not about me.
Well, if we can just not take anything personally and realize that everybody's got their own.
Personally, don't take it personal. That's what I say. If they don't know you personally, don't take it personal.
Well, this is her sister, though.
It is. I mean, you never do know. She's a lot younger. I would like to say I know my sisters, but I don't know them very personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But April could say, hey, I really hate this texting thing. Is it possible that when you want to give me some important information, that we have a conversation?
Because I've done all those steps and they don't work.
So then let it go.
Then let it go.
Then let it go. That's what you got. But you haven't let it go yet because you're upset about it.
Yeah. You can't win it. You can't win every fight. Don't let other people get you worked up. Because they're not in control. No. They're not in control of your emotions. You're in control of your emotions. And if someone takes you there, then you're allowing them. And I'm not saying you specifically, April. I'm saying in general. Like, if somebody's going to get you off your square, you got to walk away. It's just like, it's not that important. It's really not.
No, it's not.
I'm not going to let you get me off my square. If you're going to get me off my square, you can't be in my life. You can't be in my presence. You can't be in my peace. Peace is important.
Right.
Like, 50.
Yes.
Like, I got to 50 before I was like, peace. Like, you want peace, but how do you get it? Oh, another thing I was reading in this book was talking about gossip. Gossip is a cancer, and we do that. We're women. We love to gossip. We love to get the tea. We love the skinny. But
I don't.
It is a poison. It is a poison. If you are talking about somebody who's not present to defend themselves, you are gossiping. It's gossip. And it's.
Can I please ask something? First of all, I wanted to say that Eddie made a comment that not just one gender either. Some men are the same way.
Okay.
We're talking about. But I want to hear from Shelly, because Shelly, you've been very successful at having great groups of women and relationships with women. And that's something that I dream. I want to work with women like I'm working with you. I feel like this is a great step for me and Monica. It's a great step because we're coming together. And I'm like, oh, this is what I've always wanted, because I like men. I love men, but I don't want to just work with men, because I want women to empower each other. And you've been able to do that. So you have your soul tribe. How have you managed to make that happen?
Well, it all started out with you got to start with yourself. I don't walk around with a spirit of offense, and I don't think everything is about me. It's about y'all. So if I'm here with you, I'm not thinking about what I need. I'm thinking about what you need. How can I help you? What can I do for you? What will make you happy? So I do that with each person. So when I do single on a Saturday night, I'm thinking about the people, what they need, and I always anticipate their needs ahead of mine. And it may not have been always the way I've been in all my life, but when I made a change in life, I decided this is the way I want to be, and this is how I do for them, and they see it. That's why they always like, oh my God, you're here for me, you love me, and it's because I do truly love them, and I'm not jealous. I'm not looking to be. I'm not looking to be the star. I'm not looking for this. I'm not in here for. This is for people. I do single on a Saturday night for the people, not for me. Not necessarily. It's for people. So I learned to not just be jealous. I think a lot of people walk around, even though they're not saying it. I think a lot of people walk around with jealousy in their heart. Yeah. And it could be, you could be the person looking dead at your face and thinking they got your back, but deep down they're jealous. They're jealous of where you are. But when I look at these people, I think you're so beautiful. I think everyone is beautiful. Right. So I think that's really started with. It started with me coming saying, oh, I want all these people around me. I want them all to have healthy relationships. I'm going to put them there. But when they're there, I'm not saying I'm going to bite your back out. You know, there's people that I'm not biting their back out. I'm saying, hey, you're beautiful. What can I do for you? What can I do? And that's what I do with each and every one of them. And this is just for Single on a Saturday Night, Motivation Monday. Every platform that I build, it comes with a bunch of women. Now some of them may have their own issues and they need to hear some of this stuff. But me, if I start at the head, because I'm the head of them, if I start at the head with the intention that I want you to succeed and I want you to succeed and everybody brings something to the table and no one's better than the other one and I'm not jealous of you. I had to tell one girl, she's beautiful, she's a model. She's literally a model, but she would play herself short whenever we go out. And I would say to her, why are you wearing that? You know, just you don't have to do that because you think I'm going to feel bad because you outshine me. You can walk out like you're a model. Walk like you're a model. Walk next to me like a model. That's not going to hurt me. She said, I've been doing this so long for so many people who've been jealous of me. I said, I'm not the one. Wear what I need you to go change your clothes and become the person that you are. And every time you show up, you need to show up like you're a model, like you belong in this world. But she was so used to people, don't be a model. She's a model. Right. Dress the way you want to dress. But I was never
intimidated by her presence.
Yeah, intimidated.
You're a giver. Shelly, I can tell you have a giver's heart. You know what I mean? Like you're a giver. Some people are we've got two kind of people in the world, givers and takers. Givers are always going to give. That's who they are. That's who I am. That's who Cinda is. That's who most of all of us who are on here, we're givers. Mm-hmm. When you're in this field, when you're in the field of helping, encouraging, and lifting up, you're a giver. Then there's takers. Takers are always going to take. Takers are like a sponge. No matter how much you give them, they're going to need more. Always going to need more. Needy people always need, givers always give, and takers always take. When you keep in your mind that you're giving because you feel led to give or what God is doing, through you, you're a giver. You don't give with the expectation of getting something in return. And like you said, if someone else shines, then that shines. I like to say to my team at work, we're only as good as the weakest link. So we're always trying to do and give and be for each other. Like I'm going to cook, I'm going to go to work. I'm a school counselor. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to cook breakfast for my team at least once a week. That's what I do. A couple times a month, we're going to have a taco bar. We're going to do some lunch. I'm going to do something. But that's who I am. That's how I express my love. That's also how I get my validation. Is to do for others. So you just got to figure out, there's no one road. There's no cookie cutter answer.
Well, the thing about it is this has been my situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because I was the only girl for 14 years, I was alienated So I craved the relationships with women. I wanted them. My mom was my mom. She kept her boundaries. She was the mom, and she was going through her own things. And my aunts were my aunts, and everybody was there. But I was by myself. And so
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
like me, girl.
I always wanted companionship with women. But oftentimes when I would put myself out there, they would take, but not want to give at all. Like, for instance, there was this woman that I knew when I first met, two women. When I first moved to LA, I was so excited because I met these two women. They were beautiful, and they were sweet, and they were talented, all these things. So because I was so needy myself for having female friendships, that I did everything for them. I did everything for them. And then I came to realization that it was the nanny maid for one, and the other one was just using me to get audition information. I was giving, and they were taking, and I was cool with that for the longest time. But then I was like, these aren't my friends.
I was gonna say, you woke up one day. You just woke up. I think we all go there, particularly when we're, like you said, when we're younger. For me, it was the mother figure. My mother wasn't a nurturer, so I was always looking for that mother figure. And thank God, God knows what you need. He sends exactly. As I looked back going through it, I couldn't really see it, but as I looked back, wow, he put some outstanding women in my path, right? And also friends. Like, there came a time when I was lonely, and I wanted to have all these people around me because I just needed all this attention because I didn't get that as a child, right? And then after I started finding out who I am, therapy, church, and all these things that I did for me that worked for me, I started looking around at the people who were around me in my circle. And I thought, I'm not the kind of person who can really walk away. Loyalty, I'm loyal to a fault. That's who I am in my core. So I started praying about it, like move. If the person is not here for my benefit, and I'm not talking about a user, I'm talking about if this person doesn't mean me well, if this person isn't an asset in my life, whoever these people are, Lord, move them. And it was amazing how I just look up and people were just like dropping off. But then it became a very lonely and quiet life. But guess what? I didn't have drama. I had people.
Lisa, that happened to me. I had several female friends, and tight ones, and very intelligent, attractive. And then seems like when I start changing in different careers, and they were educated themselves, so I don't understand why they changed, but we went in different directions as far as friendship, and I don't get it.
It doesn't have to be any particular reason at all. They can be perfectly good people, just not good people who need to be in your life at that particular time. And so you have to be open, to what the spirit, I say God because I'm a Christian, but whatever that is, your higher power, whatever the spiritual relationship you have to be open to receive what's good for you. Another something that one of my friends does, and she does this, and at first when I saw it, I thought it was silly, but then I really thought about it, and she always puts on Facebook, good things are supposed to happen to me.
Right, I put those on my wallpaper on my phone all the time.
And I can tell you that she is, every time I talk to her, blessed in abundance. Like, she's another giver. She's always doing things for people. But blessings are poured out on her. Like, she's mostly good luck. People are always doing stuff for her. She's just a loving person. And when you're giving that out, you get it back. So whatever you give out is what you get back. Whatever you give out is what you give back. So I guess my advice mostly would just be real, be authentic.
On it.
Don't push it.
Authenticity.
If you find that if there's a sandpaper person around you that doesn't, don't force it, let it go. I can love you from over there.
Right.
I don't like
from
you,
a distance. I like that.
Yeah, from a distance. Absolutely.
And plus, sometimes there's like seasons
Mhm.
where you know they come in and out. But then there's sometimes like with my girl Beth, she was on with us on the. I love Beth too. We have known each other for 30 something years. She is someone I can talk to about almost everything. But every once in a while, she goes away because she has to go inside and deal with whatever it is she's dealing with. And one time I hadn't talked to her for almost 5 years. I don't think she remembers that. But it was like a 5-year period where I didn't talk to her. And it hurt me so
I have
bad.
friends like that.
But she came back when she was ready. And she told me about what was going on in her life. And it was like those 5 years didn't exist.
Pick back up right where you was at.
And we picked up right where we left off. And now, you know, she's one person, you know, Monica's the other that I talk to every other day, you know, and that's not me. I'm not a talker, you know, I'm not on here. I talk all the time, but I keep my mouth shut most of the time. But I call them. And so sometimes, you know, people are going through things you know nothing about that they need to go through on their own. And you have to understand your worth enough to understand it's
Yes. Understand your worth. That is so powerful to understand your worth.
And it's okay to detach. It's okay to detach and be, you know,
self-care. You know what I mean?
The people who you are around regularly.
Yeah. Well, Monica Gladney, Monty on the scene. Did you have anything you want to say right quick? Because you haven't said a lot, and we're getting ready to move into everybody giving their information. So
I agree with everyone.
Usually, you're a lot more gregarious, you and Shelley.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes, because I mean it's so much, and I was listening, and like sometimes you do have to have people. I'm not saying she might have pushed you away, but it might not have. It might have affected your friendship too. You know, if you was around for that time, that it may have affected you and her friendship, and that's something that you don't want to happen. So with me as a person, I know that I value the people that I love, so I might have to keep you to the side so that you're not going through the same thing I'm going through, because then you may not love me the same, or you may feel like certain things that, you know, may kind of come into play that I wouldn't want to come into play. But as long as you love me, once we get back together and we still love each other and we're picking back up, then I know, okay, you know what I was thinking about you being my true friend, you really are. And I appreciate you. And you appreciate that person more too, when they're able to accept you when you go through your little moments and you come back. And you know what I mean? It's like you love more. Like you said, you talk every other day now. It's like I can love on you more now. It's like, wow, we were disconnected that long and you still feel like this? Like that's a sisterhood.
Those are beautiful friendships. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Monty Rose, I haven't heard enough from you. You got any thoughts that you want to share before we close out?
No, I'm not one to really talk. I want women to empower each other, but it's not something that I've had happen in my life. I'm like you, Cindy. I've constantly looked for women to be friends with, and I have trouble because their men always try to cheat or something like that, and then they ruin my relationship, and I'm trying to tell her, and I don't have any friends besides my sisters, and I used to open myself up a lot and get hurt because I just wanted friends so bad, but because of the way I look, it was never possible. So it's kind of a sore subject with me because it hurts, because I want, like, I'm like my sister, I want friends so bad. And I live in a city where I know no one, and I was raised. And that's crazy that I don't know any women here in Muncie who I can call a friend or say is my sister, and I've lived here for my whole life. And so,
you know, I felt like that. I felt like that. where I'm from.
When we come up, you can call me, girl.
Muncie's an interesting place. I don't know, Monica.
You got sisters over here. That's
You
what I
can
was saying.
call me, girl.
You gotta come on down to Anderson and hang out with me a little.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes it's about the place that you are.
Yes, that place.
Muncie is healing. Muncie is I couldn't be there. That's why I'm like, I know I can come be with you if I need to be, but I don't want to because the energy is so
Muncie has a dark cloud hanging over it. I don't know what it is, but
I'll
it's
be honest. I have more problems with Black women than I do white women.
Yeah.
And so I never, and people look at me crazy when I say that, but the Black women here are just so hateful. And so
light skin.
No,
because I've had that.
I get that.
Yeah, that's why
I get that. You're too white. They no. When you're like Monica, you and Cindy and we're the same. Like my mother's white, my father's Black. Having that, it's almost like you're not accepted anywhere. You're just kind of
stuck in the middle. Yeah.
And then you end up having a sisterhood with people who look like you, right?
No, they treat me worse.
Oh yeah, no, I had a crew.
I just think you need to. I mean, it's none of my business where you live. I know you like Muncie, but I think if you want friends, you can have friends if you're not there.
If I didn't live here,
I just think it's there. I really do. I don't think it's even just Black women. I think it's all people.
Yeah, it's something about Muncie. I don't know what it is, but I felt, I moved up here from Atlanta, and I can tell you, first of all, Indiana as a whole, I don't even understand it. But and then Muncie was just a whole different.
It's got a dark.
Impressed when I was working in Muncie. It just was more and more weight on me. And when I got away from there, and now I'm working in Indy, I don't know anybody in Anderson, and I don't need to. But I'm 56. I don't care. I got friends. I don't have to do all of that. But I can tell you that the vibe, even with all the crime and everything in Indy, just working with our people. Me working in an all-Black school now, that's everything for me.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the place,
Yeah.
All right. So we gotta wrap it up because we got some music coming from Joe Storm. Yay, DJ Joe Storm. So April, first of all, you tell the audience how they can reach you, and please go into the chat and put your information. If there's anything you want them to read your book, tell them where to go. April.
Oh, okay. Well, my website is under construction, but www.wordpress. I'll just type it in the chat.
Type it in the chat.
That's okay.
That's cool.
Is there anything I can?
Huh?
No, I mean, is that okay?
That's perfect. That's fine. The sound is having issues anyway,
so
that'll work.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No problem.
I just want to know if I could the question about the friend thing and
We're at the sure. Very quickly, we have a two-minute window where everybody needs to introduce themselves before we get to our music.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Oh, that's
sure? Well, we can talk. You and I can talk anytime. So we'll have you back on so we can do some more conversations. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen. Lisa Rose, is there anything you want people to know about you?
I want to say, one, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's an honor. Two, I love everyone.
Right.
Love everyone. And I love to spread that love. So I'm looking forward to more of us doing things together. I mean, if you're in the area, then we can get together, All
right. Well, you can find Lisa Rose on Facebook.
Yes, Lisa K. Rose, or on Instagram, Lisa K. Rose 1. That is WON, as in won the game.
And I'm sorry, I'm April D. Aries on Facebook. And again, Cinda, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you inviting me.
Thank
Truly
you so
appreciate
much
it.
for coming.
Thank you.
Monica Rose, you want to tell anybody about Color Street, something?
Yeah, I sell a dry nail polish. There are all different kind of designs. It lasts up to 14 days, but I can't get women to want to buy it. So if you're looking for some dry nail polish and looking like you actually can afford it, hit me up. I'll leave my my shopping link in the thread.
All right, thank you. Monty on the scene.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You can check me out every Sunday on Facebook and the Grown Folks Radio from 4 to 6 on Our Take with me and my son. Check us out.
Right. Right. Shelly Shell.
You can check me out right here on Grown Folks Radio, PPC radio show every Wednesday, 2 o'clock. And tomorrow you can catch all of this. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, you can hear the rebroadcast wherever you are in the world. And you can catch me on Instagram at Shelly Show Williams.
All right. And this week, DJ Kid Disco is handling, and Shelly's going to join him, I think. And I think Baz is going to come on to do the Melanated Morning Show. So I'm not going to be here this week, even though I haven't even told y'all all the mess I've been through. I'll have to do that off the air. But y'all going to handle this week on Melanated. I will be back next week. Eddie, you want to say something right quick?
Yes, me and Girly will be talking about everything that means nothing. Because no, I said that wrong. Talk about how do we say that, Seabreeze? We're going to talk about absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
that means
that
everything.
means everything. Yes.
Right. That's what me and Shelly Shell are going to do tomorrow morning because I'm not even going to be in the studio Thursday because I got a doctor's appointment again. So tomorrow, Melanated Morning Show.
All right. Well, we will be back with you. I'll be back with y'all next week. Thank you guys so much. Oh, PPC Radio Show this week. I have Michael Swinford, PPC podcast. Confused. But he'll also be on next week on the PPC Radio Show. We're talking about pride. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those that listen, and God bless you all. DJ Joe Stewart, give us some music, brother.
Before I jump into the music, I want to send a major shout out to Shelly Shell and Monty on the scene for coming down to Baltimore to hang out with your boy at the Great Blacks and Wax Museum. So let's get straight to the music, y'all. Let's get it.